Good afternoon and welcome back to Cooking Wild with Ray. Today I'll be making mousse lasagna. Some basic ingredients. Most people have everything at home or at a grocery store nearby. If you don't have mousse, substitute it with pork, chicken, turkey, beef, whatever kind of ground meat that you wish. I prefer mousse. I have lots of it. I like the way that it's lean, and it's also good for my diet. Right here I'm going to get a couple of onions ready. I'm going to rough chop them. I'm going to do the same with a couple of peppers. I'm going to wash them up, get them ready to incorporate. I'm going to add some tomato sauce. Of course, one package of moose meat, ground. And I'm also going to add some garlic and a few other spices. So stay tuned. Alright, here I'm going to get my moose meat browned ahead of time. I'm going to add a little bit of canola olive oil mix. And here I'm also going to add a little bit of butter. Extra fat, extra flavor. And here I'm not worried about having too small of a pot. What I don't use, I can always freeze for the next application. Or I can incorporate it into a chili. All kinds of ideas of using the leftover meat and sauce mix. And if you don't want to use it in a lasagna, you can use it in spaghetti. Whatever your preference. Alright, now that our pan is warmed up, you're starting to hear that butter sizzle. Just incorporate the entire package of moose meat in there and get it browned up. Nothing fancy, nothing hard to do. At this point, things are starting to cook up a little bit. It's all about timing and flavors. So here, a good heaping teaspoon of minced garlic and a little bit. There again, it's all to taste. While it's browning up, we're going to add some fresh ground pepper. Again, to taste. Some people like a little bit less, some people like more. Wild game, I preferred a little bit extra pepper to get some extra kick out of it. Okay, so this, we can leave this cooked down, get all the flavors to marry up together quite well. It won't take long, but it's not something you can be in a big hurry for. So we'll just take a break. Alright, as you can see, I've incorporated my onions, red peppers, yellow peppers. Everything is into here. I've added roughly a large tablespoon of no-name Italian style seasonings. Let everything go into there, and I'm going to add a whole can of tomato sauce. And here I'm going to make sure everything is well mixed in. And I'm going to reduce the heat on this. I'm going to let it simmer a good 10 to 12 minutes minimum, just to incorporate the flavors. I'm going to let my peppers soften up a little bit. My onions will continue to soften up. My meat's already cooked thoroughly, but it's just a matter of letting your... Alright, here you see that I've been able to reduce some of the liquid out of here with a good long simmer. Everything is incorporated. My onions are now limp. They're cooked throughout. My peppers have a little bit of a bounce to them, which is what you want. So here I'm able to take the heat off of this completely, and we're going to take and layer into our pan. I'll just move the camera here for us a little bit. So here you can have multi-layered lasagna as you wish. Give yourself a good thickness. Make sure to get some of the liquid, because I'm not going to pre-boil any of my noodles here. They're just going to go in, and the liquid that is in here is what is going to soften up the noodles. And again, President's choice. No, I don't have a sponsorship, but and there again, you can add a good layer of noodles. Add a little bit more meat. And like again, make sure you get a good portion of liquid on your noodles at this point, because when you put it into the oven and bake it, it's going to absorb that moisture. It won't go to waste. Here again, you see I've got a good layer down again. I'm going to add another layer of noodles. Nothing fancy. At this point, I'm going to take out my cheese. Some people use cottage cheese, ricotta, whatever kind of cheese you wish. I'm going to use some ricotta cheese. I'm going to layer this on top of my noodles here. The ricotta has a little bit of a different flavor than cottage cheese. Smoother. Like you see, one layer is all I like to do. Alright, my next layer, I'm going to prepare some basil, fresh chopped. So I'll get to that. I'll show you how I get flavors blend together. Reduce some of the moisture on it. So we're going to leave this on a low to medium heat and let some of it evaporate. Alright, here I've got some fresh basil. I've washed it. You're going to want to roll this up and fold it. And just give it a good chop. At this point, this is all going to go over your layer of cheese. This is where a good sharp knife comes in handy. So you get a good rough chop all over your basil. And we're going to try and follow this up and go over this way. And here you can spread this all evenly over your ricotta. I'm going to get a little bit more basil and chop up this end here. And we come. Alright, here I've got a full layer of basil on top of my ricotta. And there again, I'm going to add more meat and sauce. Your layers don't have to be overly thick. They just have to be even. And make sure you get plenty of moisture between your layers. Because the liquid that you put in with that whole can of tomato sauce is what's going to go into your noodles and cook it. They'll be softened up. Some people add extra layers with mushrooms, whatever they want. Mushrooms add lots of moisture when they cook down. Alright, so at this layer, I've got my meat over top of everything. This is where I'm going to add a layer of cheese over the whole thing. Some people like mozzarella, some people like cheddar. It's all going to go into the oven and get baked for another 25 minutes to a half hour at this point. So, whatever type of cheese that you like for a flavor is what you can give it. When we come back, I'll be taking this out of a 350 degree oven, and it'll have been in there for a good half hour. And here we go. It's been roughly half hour. And take my lasagna out of the oven. And there you go. Bubbling hot. It's too hot to eat right now, so I'm going to let this cool down for a little bit. After it's cooled and plated, I'll give you a good look. Alright, welcome back. We're giving this time to cool down, and we're going to try and get portioned out and plated. There we go. Multi-layers. Hopefully you can see all of that. Our noodles are cooked. Cheese, basil, meat, cheese. Bon appetit and enjoy.